Hello, welcome back to my haunted library. It's Regina. Hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful summer day. Finally, the humidity has lifted a bit, and it's just the way a summer day should be. Lovely and a little bit of breeze, no humidity, at least where I'm from, or I'm at, I should say. So it's been great. It has not been like that for weeks. It's just been hot and humid and gross, and I keep fantasizing about the fall, but then reminding myself that summer is beautiful and I should appreciate those long days and cool nights, hopefully. Okay, so what do we have today? I've done a little bit of a mixed bag of some stuff. I wanted to remind everyone, if you'd like to support the channel, of course I don't play any ads on my channel. I'm inching toward 5,000 subscribers, which is my goal by, let's say, the end of the summer would be nice. And if you'd like to support the channel, consider buying me a coffee. I have a beautiful latte here from Calm Waters, my lovely little coffee shop in my town. It's kind of like the hub of the downtown area, which a coffee shop should be. So these add up, so feel free to support me, and I will link it below. Last week, James and I, my partner in crime with Bookworms, which just came out, he and I went to the Blob Fest in Phoenixville, PA, last Saturday, and I had never been to Blob Fest. It was amazing. I mean, it was super hot, and we were sitting outdoors. We did have one of those little tents. I posted some pictures on Instagram. I'll post some here, little videos I took. I didn't do too much filming because I was just enjoying the experience. We ran into Clay McLeod Chapman. It was really great chatting with him. He has a story in the new Bookworms plus a previous issue, so it was good to check in with him. I saw that Adam Caesar was there. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but he had later posted stuff. There were tons of people there. There were bands. People were dressed up. Despite the heat, people were in like 50s costumes in honor of the Blob. There's a beautiful theater there, but we were there representing Bookworms and then selling some of my own books, but mostly Bookworms. And of course, I had to do a little shopping with the money that I earned from selling Bookworms. I bought a new pillow. Anyone guess who this is? Yes, it is Edward Gorey. And this was the only one on the table, and there was a guy eyeing it, and I was like, he had it, he was going to buy it, and then he put it down, and I waited till he walked away, and then I grabbed it. Yes, proud to add this to my pillow collection. I'm running out of room here, but Edward Gorey always has a place on my love seat. Yeah, what have I got here? Let's talk about Bookworms a little bit. This just came out, and it's already selling really well. I'm happy to report. This is our biggest issue yet. I probably went way over budget putting too many stories in this one. It's just hard to say no because I get so many good stories. But we do have some returning authors in this one. Angelique Fawns, D.L. Tillery. Please go and check out DL's latest video. I don't know if it's her latest video, but she could use some love. She's gone through like a health ordeal. So go and subscribe to her channel. I'll link her below. She's got a great channel. She's a great person, great artist, very unique talent. And these are the types of talent I like to encourage and to feature in something like Bookworms. And who else? Oh, Oliver C. Seneca. Young guy who's really one to watch as far as he's putting out quality books. Super positive guy. He has a story in here, along with my friend Jason White from Jason's Weird Reads. I'm really glad he submitted because he wrote a great story. There's a lot going on in this issue. Bookworms is highly collectible because it's ephemeral and it just doesn't exist on the internet. Nor do I much these days. I have to tell you, I have been trying to have more real experiences and getting away from doom scrolling on Twitter or wherever, because it's a weird world right now. We don't need any reminders. But I did finish up my Laymania with a crazy Richard Layman book called Beware. This one was really bonkers, and it's all about an invisible man predator killer. I have not seen that done before. Like, as far as, like, there is the Invisible Man, but bringing back that subgenre, Invisible Man. Let me know in the comments below if you know of any other Invisible Man horror besides the Invisible Man. Maybe I'm missing a whole subgenre here, but I was surprised to discover this in this book. I'm not really sure why it's called Beware. There is a meat cleaver, a bloody meat cleaver, featured in this book. It was good. I don't really remember a lot of the plot because this was a couple weeks ago, and all my layman stories that I read are kind of blending together. But this one was okay. But when I finally finished my Laymania, and do check out Lydia Peever's done some really good videos about her Reading in Rumps challenge, as well as Alex from the BookTube. Speaking of Alex, I did want to get into Giallo July a bit. So I started reading the novelization of Dressed to Kill by Brian De Palma and Campbell Black. I love these little novelizations. They're so fun. And sometimes they're very well written, sometimes not. This one is. Campbell Black, I was reading this and I like it because it's told from Bobby's point of view. If you don't know who Bobby is, if you don't know the film, I don't want to spoil it because this story really is a twist. Huge twist and a great twist. It's such a great movie, and the more I've been reading the book, the more I'm like, okay, I'm going to rewatch the movie even though I've seen it so many times. I probably have it memorized in my mind. It was a movie that really deeply affected me and deeply terrified me. This is like, to me, a very Giallo story. In fact, I believe De Palma was influenced by Dario Argento and the Italian filmmakers with this razor blade slasher horror story, and very stylized. I'm hoping to read more Giallo July before the month is over. Do check out Alex and at the BookTube, Alex the BookTube, I should say, and Kelsey at Slime and Slashers for more about Giallo July. So after reading all of that schlocky layman, I won't call it trash because, you know, it's great stuff. I'm speaking of trash. That's coming up too. I'll save that to the end, Garb August. But I was really craving something a little more literary to cleanse my palate of the rumps and the silliness of Richard Layman's works. And I found it in, and it's even a classy version of this, a classy edition. This is To the Devil a Daughter by Dennis Wheatley in a nice leather-bound copy. And I don't know if this is real leather. It feels like it might be. This is Heron Books, and it has a nice bookmark, photograph of the author, Dennis Wheatley. Dennis Wheatley was a British author, extremely prolific, who wrote a lot of war stories and this kind of thing. And he did an occult series. I read somewhere that they were referred to as the Black Magic books. The Devil Rides Out is probably one of the more famous ones, and there are movies based on his work. I have seen The Devil Rides Out, and now that I've read this book, I want to watch it again and then read the book. And this one is also a movie. Both star Christopher Lee. This is fully illustrated. Very, very creepy illustrations. The book and the film are similar plot, but very different in how it all unfolds. In the movie, a very young, it might be one of her first, it probably might be her first film role, extremely young, very beautiful Nastasia Kinski plays a young girl, the daughter, named Christina, and Christopher Lee plays this fallen priest who now becomes like a disciple of Satan. It's all taken very seriously. I take that stuff seriously. I like to see the battle of good and evil, and hopefully good wins. Wheatley takes this really seriously, and so does the film. So Christina in the movie is at this convent where she's lived her entire life till she's about to turn 18. In the book, it's 21. But it's the same kind of thing. She's very protected. She's, wearing a nun's habit, and she is taken away and by these mysterious people and brought to England, where she is going to be used in this satanic ritual. In the movie, the main protagonist is played by Richard Whitmark, and he is an occult novelist or occult writer who gets drawn into the story. Her father is like desperate for help, so he contacts John Verney. He absconds with Christina and kind of hides her out and gets his friends to look after her. But Christina is also possessed. So in the book, it's a little different, where this character named Molly, who is an author, and she's like a middle-aged woman with a son, but she's vacationing in the south of France where she writes her books, and she notices this mysterious young girl who's very beautiful but very strange, kind of hanging out in the villa next to her, and she invites her into her life a bit, and then her son meets her, and the son kind of is intrigued by this girl. But what I found really interesting in the book is that by day, she's this very naive, innocent, but at night, she turns into a vamp and starts to seduce the son. So it's similar in the book and in the movie, where she is taken by the Satanist, and then it becomes like a cat and mouse chase to get her back before something horrible happens. And in the book, they do it in the film too, with this kind of, it's called a homunculus. It's a creature where they're trying to create human life in test tubes. Kind of a little island of Dr. Moreau showing up here. And there are all kinds of these weird creatures, and they need Christina's blood to transform into the next stage of human being. And there, of course, all these like experiments that didn't work, that are really creepy. So that's in the book, and it is in the film too, in a little bit of a different way. There's this really disturbing scene where one of the disciples in the coven is pregnant, and she's like tied to the bed and forced to give birth without using any kind of natural means. Like this demon baby has to explode from her womb kind of thing. It's pretty graphic and pretty creepy. And it does get into some real black magic stuff in both the film and the book. There's this whole section in the book about this black magician, and it gets into Aleister Crowley and the reality of this. Now, I watched a documentary on Dennis Wheatley. He's very British, he's very upper crust in his little manor home with his wife. It was really enjoyable, and he said a lot like what Christopher Lee said in that infamous interview, that he doesn't mess with this stuff, which you shouldn't either. Just saying, don't mess with it. I'm fascinated by it, of course. I read a lot about it. I'm into the drama of it, but I'm cautious. As I'm reading this, I could tell Wheatley knew a lot about black magic, and I think he was exposing this in this kind of upper crust society in Europe and other parts of the world who were participating in this. He said he would never actually attend a black mass, and Christopher Lee warned against it, which I echo. It really gets into the weeds with that stuff, and it's good. This is a very good book, very well written. It took me a little while to get through it. It's a little dense, and if you're reading it, you might find it to be a bit dated. So this book came out, this edition is from the 70s, but this came out in 1953. The film came out in 1976. So I definitely enjoyed both the book and the movie, although they were a little different experience. Both definitely worth checking out. Now I want to read The Devil Rides Out, but I'd like to get a copy of this edition. There's a whole series of these Heron books. Some of them are kind of expensive, but I thought if I could, and I found this one in a thrift store, I thought if I could buy the next one, I start to build up my set. I definitely want to keep reading Dennis Wheatley's occult books, and this was a good start. All right, so I also wanted to mention that Trash Tales is coming out. It's actually up for pre-order. Criminale Presents. I had a story in last year's Garbology anthology, and this year, I am blessed to have a story included in the new one that's coming out. Definitely check out Criminale's channel if you don't already know it. He has one of the best channels on BookTube, and he deserves his popularity. He's really good. I love his reviews. He reads a lot. I mean, he reads, I don't know how he does that, a book a day or something, and does short reviews about them. So it's a really great channel. And I'm looking forward to co-hosting Garb August. And my short story, it is really trashy. The title indicates the level of trash that it is, but I'm very proud of it. There's no shame involved. My story is called Unnatural Porn Killers. So the story takes place in the future, in a dystopian world where Earth is a pretty crappy place, but there is this new Mars colony created by, or masterminded by, a trillionaire named Elmo Sunk. A little bit of a Elon Musk influence there, but he wants this woman detective because he can't figure out why all these men on his planet have been murdered in horrible ways and castrated, and it couldn't have anything to do with the sex bots because there are no women on, like biological women on Mars colony, because they're too much of a distraction for his great scientific minds. She goes to the Mars colony to try to figure out what's going on with these sex bots. So that's why I call it Unnatural Porn Killers, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm thrilled that it made it into the anthology, and of course, when it comes out, I will be talking about it more. And going into Garb August, I'm just psyched to be part of it. I'm embracing the trashy reads that I love, but I do want to keep reading Dennis Wheatley and exploring more of his novels. So let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books I mentioned today. If you are a Dennis Wheatley fan or a fan of the films, I would love to hear your thoughts. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for stopping by my haunted library, and I'll see you soon. Bye.